Rather than lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. We have some work to do. I don't pay you for the work we do on this channel, but we have some work to do. And in this video, we need to talk about the next Arsenal captain very, very carefully. Now, I've been reading a very interesting article on the qualities, key responsibilities, and roles of a Premier League captain, or of a soccer captain, actually, written by goal.com, and also looking at some of the best and best ever icons of the game to ever captain their side. So I've been reading about the likes of Carlos Puyol, about the likes of Patrick Vieira. Actually, I did not know this, but Arsenal won 3 Premier League titles under the skippership, I hope that's right, of Patrick Vieira. So in this video, we're going to be reacting to Martin Odegaard being the Arsenal next captain. And what I want us to do here, guys, is we're going to look at the key responsibilities of a captain, the key qualities a captain must possess, and we look at the past captains and the mistakes they've done at Arsenal, and probably agree to disagree whether Martin Odegaard should be the captain. Now, Martin Odegaard is one of those very few young players that are actually breaking the rules when it comes to becoming captain, because when you read this article from goal.com, they will show you that most captains are always senior players, long-serving players, or anything of the sort, homegrown, long-serving senior players. But when you look at him, and he's already captaining that Norway side for at the age of 22, he was captaining Norway, and at the age of 23, Mikel Arteta, among look, we do not have so many, old players and long-serving players at the team right now. But when you think about the likes of the presence of players like Jacques Partey, you think the likes of Quarantini, you think they should be able to, list them ahead of Martin Odegaard. The fact that Martin Odegaard's name comes up, ahead of them is absolutely phenomenal. So what is special about him? But of course, in this video, you will end up knowing what a Premier League captain, what a soccer captain does, and what they do for their sides, and why they're very, very important. The question in the comment section: which Arsenal captain for you has been absolutely irreplaceable? Which Arsenal captain during your era, the captain you've watched? So do not tell me, if you didn't watch Patrick Vieira, don't tell me Patrick Vieira, it's okay. Which Arsenal captain do you feel was irreplaceable, or is irreplaceable, and you feel he actually performed to that level? In my own case, I will go with Cesc Fabregas. Yes, I've looked at a couple of them, but I think Cesc Fabregas was quite something. Yes, he didn't captain the side for a very, very long time, but I think at that age, the quality, leadership by example, and we'll talk about that, leadership by example, later, but I think he's one of the few captains that tick that box. Leadership by example. Hit the like button for me, subscribe to the podcast. Let's get this video to 800 likes as we enroll on a journey to find out whether Martin Odegaard is the right skipper for Arsenal as we enter into a very crucial stage into the rebuild. Now, according to goal.com, captains are also called skippers in the UK or in the Premier League, and the key role of a skipper or a captain is to lead the team on and off the pitch. Is their leader on and off the pitch. So look, we've seen it on a couple of occasions. The likes of Patrick Vieira, Steven Gerrard, Carlos Puyol, Iker Casillas, and a couple of other captains. You can see the likes of Bonucci, the likes of Cellini. You can see that kind of leadership, that kind of the presence, the leadership presence they manifest on the pitch, and also in the dressing room as well. That is what we mean off the pitch. That is one of the few. That is the major responsibility. But also part of the major responsibilities is tossing the coin. Yeah. At times when games are gonna start, you have to decide where your team is going to be starting from. The end where your team is going to be starting from, and at times when it needs the coin to be tossed, then the captain comes in and does that. And as well, also in penalty shootouts, I hope you know that in penalty shootouts, the captain also comes in to either agree or disagree, but by tossing the coin. And I think Martin Odegaard, with those two responsibilities, maybe the one for leadership, we'll talk about that, but tossing the coin should be quite easy. Now, he also acts as the captain also acts as a mediator between the team and the manager, the opponents, and the referee. We've seen this on a couple of occasions. Look, at times, you do not let your players, if you're captain, you don't let your players face to face with the opponent. You'd rather, step in and talk to the opponents if they are misbehaving, if their tackles are flying everywhere. Then you talk to them and tell them, hey, your tackles are becoming a little bit nasty and my group is getting out of order. You also have that kind of mediation between the team and the manager, especially when on the pitch. Especially on the pitch, when you're gonna receive extra instructions from the manager. Probably there is a change of plan. Probably there is something you're not doing right in the original instructions. Then the captain receives those instructions and passes them on to the team. And of course, the mediation between the team and the referee. At times, the referee doesn't really want to speak to your players, but then speaks to you and tells you, look, tell your guys to get in order. So the mediation role is one that I think Martin Odegaard can easily do, because I don't think everyone can do it, but I think it's one that Odegaard can actually do. Now, the importance of maturity in the among the qualities is actually undermined. Actually, I think maturity, when you think about maturity, you're thinking about it's not the level, it's not the age, but it's the level of reasoning, in my opinion. Goal.com claimed that among the important qualities, maturity is not one of them, but you're looking at level-headedness and initiative. Those are the two very, very important, very important qualities of a captain. And I think when it comes to maturity here, I would want to throw in the element of reasoning, the element of thinking before acting, that kind of that level of maturity. I think Martin Odegaard really has that. I've not seen him lose his head, which you've also called level-headedness here. And then initiative. Initiative is what we saw against Brighton, Arsenal losing 2-0, and then Martin Odegaard tries everything there is, tries a free kick. It doesn't work out, and then tries a long-range shot. Eventually, Arsenal pull one back. So that's kind of initiative, trying to take on the responsibility. You try to take you try to take matters in your own hands, especially if your team is losing, or if you feel there is a moment where you need to step up, where someone needs to step up in your team. Probably there is a red card, in your team, and you need to work extra hard. Every player needs to work extra hard. You must be the first player to take the initiative. Martin Odegaard, in that regard, I'm not really very skeptical. I think he can take up the initiative, like I said, and also level-headedness. I don't think he is a player that quite loses his head a lot of the time, like Gabriel Magalhaes. Now, some of the other qualities is being vocal. And some captains could be vocal, others could be motivational, and the others then could lead by example. Now, Martin Odegaard, in my opinion, is not a vocal player, so he's not one to shout, he's not one to confront players. But I think the other two, motivational. I do not know him about. I don't know much about him to say that he's a motivational guy. But one thing I would say is that leading by example could be one of the things that we get from him. He's one player that I trust to lead by example, stepping up onto the occasion. I think he can definitely do that. Captains are also the first to resolve any sparks on the pitch and also to restore balance. I've not really seen him as the first player to restore balance and resolve sparks. Actually, Xhaka, the times I've seen Granit Xhaka on the pitch, is one of the players that come into restore sparks on the pitch. My problem with Xhaka is he's not level-headed. He's always going to lose his head all the time, and in on more than one occasions, the captain who would be Xhaka would need a lot of emotional uplifting from the team than him lifting the team. So in terms of resolving spats, I think Martin Odegaard, but I think that is something he can definitely work on. The other key responsibilities include deciding on a starting 11 with the manager. I do not know whether that happens to Arsenal or inside Arsenal, but of course, if it happens, then we will know. Now, the key criteria, or some of the criteria on picking a captain is: one, they're picked by managers based on experience, leadership abilities, seniority, skill, and natural talent. Now, according to Goal, usually longest serving homegrown talents have always been favored as captains. We talk about Frank Lampard, we talk about John Terry, we talk about Steven Gerrard, we talk about Carlos Puyol, we talk about Xavi, we talk about Carlos Iker Casillas, right? So if you're homegrown and you've served the team for a very, very long time, you naturally appear on the list of candidates to become captain. And the reason there, lads, is we assume you have been schooled well in the doctrines of that particular club. For example, I'll give you one at the moment. If Emile Smith-Rowe 7 years later is still playing at Arsenal and Martin Odegaard has left, then for me, he would definitely become that natural replacement as captain, because he's been at Arsenal for more than 7 years. He's homegrown. He knows the doctrines of the club, and he knows the doctrines of football in the UK. Then it just becomes so easy for him. So according to Goal.com, longest serving homegrown players have always taken the advantage, and also on national level, players that have had that kind of substantial success individually and also at the club level, like Ronaldo and Messi, that could be part of the criteria. And also players at times select their own captain, just like Granit Xhaka was selected by his own teammates during the Unai Emery era. So what I want to talk about here with Martin Odegaard is these qualities. Experience. He has captained Norway without any experience. He's not played the game for so long. He broke out as a talent at a very, very young age. At the age of 16, he was already up and running. But 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, those are 5 years, we understand. Starting to captain a national team at 21, 22, that is still absolutely phenomenal. That is 100% phenomenal. So he's one kind of a player that beats experience, and then so despite the fact that he doesn't have the experience, there's a couple of managers still look at him and feel he is a captain. There is a leader in there. The other is leadership abilities. I think Mikel Arteta and a couple of other managers look at him and they sense that. Seniority, again, he's not even a senior in this Arsenal side, because when you think about when you talk about seniority in this Arsenal side at the moment, you think about Partey, Xhaka, who else? Kieran Tierney. I mean, you do not have so many, do you? And probably Gabriel Jesus now as well, and Mohamed El Neni. But the fact that he doesn't have the seniority and the experience, but is still selected, then for me points to these three things. One, we sense a lot of leadership ability in him. Two, the skill level and also natural ability. Those are other factors that are considered. And the fact that we've said that Odegaard would be a captain leading by example, then natural talent and skill level have to be key determinants in him, because he's going to need to motivate the team. He's going to need to boost the morale of the team, and at times he's gonna need to take matters in his own hands, initiative, to make a difference. So you need to have the natural talent, you need to have the skill level, and you also need to have the leadership abilities to take on the team. So in my opinion, yes, many people might not agree, many people might disagree, but I think Martin Odegaard is okay as a captain, given the fact that it's a very, very young side. So he will have key figures around that team helping him on the job. The other players we could have talked about, we've already done that in a separate video, I think 5 months ago. But that's a very, very long time. But the other players you could think about is Kieran Tierney, Gabriel Magalhaes, Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka as well, and a couple of others. But I think Martin Odegaard is certainly a very, very right call.